everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we're testing a bunch of new makeup. There's some of it here, some of it's on my desk. We're just testing a bunch of new stuff. There's not a particular brand. It's just a bunch of new stuff that we're going to test. I'm starting without my makeup on mainly because I haven't filmed a YouTube video in so long that I've kind of forgotten how to do them. Everything you've seen has been pre-filmed, to be completely honest. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's always makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. I also have a TikTok and an Instagram. TikTok is at Effys_place and Instagram is at Effys.place. I am posting every day on Instagram, 3 days a week on TikTok. I haven't 100% stuck to that because I was also ill recently, so it went a bit awry, but I am posting on those, so if you want to check those out, please do. But anyway, I've rambled enough. Let's get into the video. So I'm going to start with my eyes because that's how I normally do it, and I do actually have an eye primer to test. This is the grwm Lid Lock Eyeshadow Primer. I saw this in Superdrug and just picked it up. I sort of just went and did like a little bit of a Superdrug shop and then some other stuff that I already had in my collection. So it comes on, it looks like a lip balm applicator, to be honest. But okay, I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on my lid. Ooh, it has a tint to it, which is good. I don't quite understand the applicator because I'm not really going to use this to sort of like move it around my eyelid. I'm going to use a brush. So I don't see why it needs to be on that shape of an applicator, but let's see how it works. Okay, I said it had a tint, it doesn't. It feels very slippery. Honestly, it feels like a silicone face primer, but it's not, it's an eye primer, which is very weird. Normally, eye primers tend to have a little bit of a tack because you want the eyeshadow to stick to your eyes. Apparently that's not the vibe we're going for, but we'll give it a go. The eyeshadow palette I have is the Revolution Pro Regeneration Stripped palette. It looks like this. I was doing a Revolution order for something else, but I just threw this in there because I think it was on offer before Christmas. It does have a pretty nice selection of mattes and a decent selection of shimmers. The shimmers don't look that fun, to be honest. They sort of look boring, which, to be honest, a lot of Revolution shimmers look boring to me nowadays. But we'll give it a go. And also I do have this, which is another shimmer product that I'm going to put on top of it anyway, so we will test a shimmer, but we're not that fussed. I'm also checking to see if I have a lip product picked out. I don't, which means I can pick what shades I want to use. Okay, let's make a start. I think I'm going to go for more of like a rosy look, so we're going to start with this shade here called Date, just to set the lid. That's actually got on really nicely, has really good pigmentation, and also, I'm not going to lie, like part of my face where that eye primer stretched out to feels weird. Almost like I have one of those, you know, those face masks that dry and then you peel them off. It feels like that. I really hope it's not going to peel off. Now I'm going in with this one here called Indulge, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to sort of stick to the pinky tones, and this is more pinky. I have mentioned before, but this year I am on the hunt for sort of like the perfect everyday neutral palette for me. Currently the Wet n Wild Coffee Cat palette is my go-to every day. The Relove by Revolution palette that I tested in my Relove video, that is a strong contender. I used it earlier today for some TikTok content and I remembered how much I love it, and I pretty much will just reach for that every day now. You know what? These shades are pigmented. I have tested Revolution Pro before and I do like the brand. In fact, Revolution Pro is probably at the moment my favourite of the Revolution brands that I've tested. But the pigment here is just really good for every day as well. It's not too much. And the final matte shade I'm going to go in with, because it's pretty much the only pinky shade I have left, is this one here called Moi, as in like Moi. I quite like that. It's very cute. It's a very romantic palette. I like it. Okay, that shade is super pigmented as well. I'm actually quite liking the pigmentation. However, I was thinking while I was putting on that last shade, I kind of wish this first shade that I used, Date, was a little bit paler, just so that I could use it more as a blending out shade, whereas at the moment it kind of has a bit too much pigment for me to really be doing that. But you know what? This is quite pigmented. I will do a look at some point, probably over on my Instagram, using the browns, because I am a bit more drawn to my sort of like brownie shades at the minute. But this looks quite nice. Now we're going to test the shimmers, which, like I said, I'm not that excited for. And now, because this shimmer that I'm going to use in a bit is sort of more of like a goldy, let me just test what colour it is before I say that. This is the KVD Dazzle Stick in the shade Electro Bolt. I won this in a giveaway from somebody on Instagram ages ago, and I've wanted to test it for the longest time. Look at that, oh my. Well, I'm excited, but I actually wanted to just sort of test the colour so I know what shimmer to go in with from the palette. Woo! I'm actually blown away by that. I think the most similar shade in the palette is this one in the corner called Dream, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that over my lid just as a base and to sort of test the shimmers from this palette out a little bit. That's actually gone on fine. This feels like such an old school Effie look. I feel like this is something I would have done like maybe 3 years ago and been super proud of it. But now I'm super excited for this. I'm just going to put it straight on to my eyelid using the stick. I did not expect this to be this pretty. I am just going to take my brush because this is a bit of a messy way of doing it. And it seems to pick up on a brush. It is a bit messy to just sort of pat it on with the stick because you kind of need to pat and swipe, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't have that much lid space to be doing that. But you can pick it up with a brush and do it this way, which I'm doing. You could probably put it on your finger and do it that way as well if you prefer that. And I'm just going to keep adding this because it is so, so pretty. But we're going to move on to my base, and we're going to start with primer. The e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I am a big fan of the original Poreless Putty Primer. I have said that multiple times. And this is the liquid version. I picked this up in Superdrug, I think. I'm hoping it's just as good as the original, but I'm not sure. I will say I have, while I was doing my eye look, I did just put a little bit of moisturiser on my forehead because I've done so many makeup looks today and yesterday that my skin was literally flaking because of how dry it was, because of obviously, oh I don't like that smell, because of obviously all the like putting on and removing of makeup that's gone on. My skin is feeling it. Yeah, I don't like the smell. I don't like the smell at all. It's obviously not as thick as the original Poreless Putty Primer because that is like a very thick balm type thing. But it does go on quite nicely. It feels quite nice on the skin. It doesn't really have a tack. Maybe a slight tack. My skin does feel really smooth. I'm just really pressing it into my like super porous areas. But anyway, we will see what it looks like with foundation on. And the good thing is because I'm such a fan of the original Poreless Putty Primer, I will be able to tell you whether this does the same thing because I've worn the other one so much. I know what it looks like. Foundation. I haven't tested a new foundation. Actually, I tested the Relove by Revolution one. But I haven't tested like an OG foundation in a long time. This is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. Perfectly matches your skin colour and texture with hydrating hyaluronic acid. Will this sit well with the primer? Who knows? But this is the shade 1N Neutral Undertone because I do have a neutral undertone. I know that my face looks pretty pink right now, but my neck is pretty neutral. Yeah, I picked this up again in Superdrug or Boots, I can't remember. And also, I have a new sponge to test. This is the Coco Cosmetics by Chloe Marshmallow Sponge. This came in like a Beauty Bay mystery box or something like that. It's so squishy. It fit in this box, so it has expanded quite a lot. Like, it was a lot smaller than this before I went downstairs and wet it. It feels nice. Very, very soft, very soft. I don't know about the shape. Just for context, this is the sponge I'm using at the minute, which is the Be Perfect one, which I absolutely love. The side that has the foundation on is the side that I sort of use to do my foundation. Very different shapes, but we'll give it a go. I'm just going to put it straight on the sponge. Oh, that's so liquidy. That is so, so liquidy. I was not expecting that. I was so shocked by that. I genuinely feel in shock. I'm so overdramatic. The colour match is actually spot on with my neck. Like, spot on. I think I do need a little bit more coverage on my face. just to even me out a bit more. Let's try putting on a little bit more. I won't be as surprised by it now. So I'm just putting on a little bit more. We can see if it builds up. Okay, it just built up. Now that it's built up, it may be a touch too light for me, but nothing that a bit of bronzer won't fix. I would say it is buildable. It is definitely a light to medium coverage. I am just looking at my monitor if you're wondering what I'm looking at. It's a light to medium coverage. I do have a spot here and a little bit of redness on my cheek, again, just because my skin is so irritated by the sheer amount of makeup I've put on. But it's evened me out. You can see definitely a lot of the pink from my cheeks have gone. It looks quite nice. It is looking a bit weird on my pores, which isn't ideal. I think from far away you can't tell. But yeah, just on my pores around my nose, which is where I have big pores, you can see that it's not looking as great. Yeah, it really doesn't look great around here. It just looks very, very textured. I don't know if that's because of the primer or the foundation or a mix of the two. They just might not work great together. But it seems to look pretty fine on like my forehead and my nose. So part of me thinks that maybe it's just one and not the two of them mixing badly together. I'll put some on the rest of my face. The weird part is, I think I like the foundation. I just think maybe this isn't the primer for it. I think what I'll have to do is use both the foundation and the primer separately with different products to sort of get a real idea of whether or not I like them. Now for concealer, and we have the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer. I've wanted to test this for the longest time, since it came out pretty much. I love the Conceal and Define range. I've had the original concealer, the Hydrate concealer, and now I have the Infinite concealer. So I got the shade C05, which seems weird. I normally go for C1, but I went for C05 apparently. Big chubby doe foot. Let's pop some on. Oh, that is thick. Oh, that's very white. That is very white. This is where I'm worried about the sponge, because how am I meant to get this like under my eyes? I pinch it. Yeah, I don't like this under my eyes. Fine for foundation, maybe not for concealer. But what I'm actually going to do is just switch back to my regular sponge. That concealer is very, very pale. I don't know why I went for C05 instead of C1, but I assume there was a reason. It's going to work for me at the minute because it is currently winter and I am pale as a ghost. It's very pale. It was very, very thick, which I guess it's meant to be. It's meant to be like their super full coverage version, but I'm used to the regular Conceal and Define and the Conceal and Hydrate, which are both a lot thinner. The Conceal and Hydrate concealer is incredibly thin and I really love that one. I do like this. I like the coverage. What I might do is pick this up in my actual skin tone and use it as like a spot concealer, because I don't have many concealers that work for spot concealing, and I think this one would do a good job. I do have cream blush and cream bronzer to test. We'll start with the cream blush. This is the XXRevolution Blush Tint Serum Blusher in the shade Desirable. Let's get the box open. I was expecting it to be a touch lighter, but that's fine. I do like the packaging. It's very sleek. How do I... Oh, I sort of press the top. Okay. I don't like that. Don't know why. I just don't. I'm going to pop some on the back of my hand. Yeah, I don't like the packaging. I'd rather just have like a squeezy thing, but that's fine. Where's it gone? Right, I've put even more on my hand. Take it on a brush and give this a go. I don't like the smell. I currently don't like the formula either. God, this isn't going well today, is it? I hate the smell. I hate the smell. I'm gonna say it again because it's so bad. I can't tell what it is. I've definitely smelled it before, but I don't like it. I also do not like this formula because it is spreading everywhere. I didn't mean to take my blush across my nose, but I have no other option, and now I have to make it even. Is it taking up my foundation? And it's taking up my foundation. Blush is on. Not a fan. Not even slightly. I do think the shade is wrong for me. It sort of just looks like sunburn. I know some people say that getting a blush that's just sunburn shade is actually more natural, whatever. I don't care. I don't want to look sunburn in January. Don't like the packaging. Don't like the formula. Don't really like the shade. Hate the smell. Yeah, I'm going to say that that is a bit of a fail. Today's video is not going as well as I'd hoped. Now I have bronzers. This is the MUA Bronzed Cream Bronzer. I have the shade Toffee and Butterscotch because I didn't know which one was actually lighter. So I'm just going to test both. I actually bought these in store as well. So I was looking at them with my eyes, not trying to guess from online photos. This is the shade Butterscotch. These smell nice. This is the shade Toffee. I think they look very similar, but I do think Butterscotch is slightly lighter. Or at least slightly, they do smell nice, slightly less warm. They actually smell really nice. That's put me in a much better mood. I'm gonna start with the shade Butterscotch, which I think is the lighter one, and then I might go in with a little bit of Toffee if needed. I'm gonna just take a brush and dip in. I'm using quite like a dense, it's basically a foundation brush, but it is quite dense. Pat it on the back of my hand, and let's hope this works better than everything else so far. I'm actually gonna take a bigger, flatter brush because I think that will help it a little bit more. We're gonna try this one instead because I think just having a little bit of a bigger surface area will help blend it out a little bit easier. Okay, the shade is a little bit orange. I thought this was slightly more cool tone than the other shade. I don't actually think it is. What I am going to do is just test a tiny bit of the other shade because why not? I already look ridiculous today. So this is the shade Toffee and I'm just going to take a little bit of it. What I will say is it has a nice undertone. Although I said it is a bit orange, it's almost like a yellowy orange, which I think works really well for my skin tone. However, the blush I have on that I hate and has currently ruined my day is making it look not as good on my skin tone because I think the blush was just a completely wrong shade for me. And it does look pretty stark. I'm actually just going to try and cover up the blush a little bit with the bronzer. Yeah. This video is going a little bit all over the place. So, I do actually like the bronzers. I think they work pretty well. I can't remember how much they were, maybe like a £5 or something like that. Maybe, I can't remember. I actually think they're quite good. You don't get a lot of product, but cream bronzer I've struggled to work through, so that's fine. Now I'm going to set my face. This is the Studio London by Superdrug Flaunt Flawless Setting Powder, weightless and mattifying in the shade Translucent. Okay, I have some in the lid. It didn't come out super quickly, which for me is normally an indicator that it's not so finely milled, and personally I prefer a super finely milled powder, but actually it looks pretty alright on my brush. Let's do some here to start off with. I actually quite like that. It is brightening, although I did have a super bright concealer on, but I do think that is brightening a bit. I don't like the lid of the packaging. The packaging has a domed lid and I sort of rest it on my desk and then dip into the powder, but obviously it's just sort of rolling all over the place. What is it with brands and packaging at the minute? I feel like nobody puts any thought into any packaging anymore. Maybe some brands do, but not the ones I'm using. I quite like that it doesn't come out too quickly and it doesn't feel like a super thick powder, so it's not super finely milled, but it's not super thick either. And I can get on board with that. And actually, I don't think it's completely 100% mattified my skin. I think I still have a little bit of a glow to it. Thankfully that blush seems to have completely disappeared, which works for me. I actually really like this. I need to do a video testing Studio London, but I'm a fan of the powder, honestly, big fan. Blush. We have another Revolution one. This is the Blusher Reloaded in the shade Rose Kiss. I thought this would go quite nicely with the liquid blush, and actually they would go quite nicely together. However, I didn't like the liquid blush, so this might have been a terrible idea. I think the thing I worry about with these sorts of blush shades is they're like almost like a mauvey colour, and I worry it kind of looks like I've just been hit in the face. I went in a bit heavy on this side, and now it does sort of look like I've been hit in the face. It does on camera, it doesn't in real life. So I just need to go in with a light hand and not be so crazy. I prefer this to the cream or liquid blush. I do like it. I don't have any blush shades like this, which is why I picked it up. Because I do stray away from the sort of mauve shade because I think they look bad on my skin tone. But actually, with a light hand, I don't think this is that bad. It doesn't really smell of anything. I'm now very cautious of the smells because of that liquid blush. I like that. I'm on board. Bronzer, and I was in Superdrug, and they had Avon. I didn't realise Superdrug sold Avon. This is their bronzer. This is the Bronze and Glow bronzing powder in the shade Deep Tan. Is this one of their dark? I didn't mean to pick up a super dark bronzer. Hopefully I can go in with a light hand. Yeah, I didn't realise, that was very powdery. I didn't realise that Superdrug sold Avon. I thought Avon was a multi-level marketing scheme and that everyone was against them. But I've also seen Superdrug advertising that they sell Avon now. And yeah. Does that mean I can shop their products and not feel like I'm contributing to a multi-level marketing scheme? This is actually quite nice. I am going in with an incredibly light hand because it scared me, the fact it's called Deep Tan. But I quite like it. Now we have a highlighter. This is the Collection Diamond Shine Highlighter in Shine Bright 1. This is obviously a dupe of the Fenty one. It does look so pretty. You probably can't even see it that well on camera. Oh, it looks glittery. Which I knew because I know what the Fenty one looks like. But I don't think this is going to be for everyone. It also looks very white. But let's give it a go. Okay. It is very white. Putting that out there. It is very glittery. But I don't mind a glittery highlight. I actually quite like a glittery highlight for certain occasions. Is it giving me a cast? Maybe just a smidge. I think it looks ever so slightly grey when I look forward, but not too much. Not too much. So yeah. I honestly do not think my base looks particularly good at all at the minute. But that's fine. I'm quickly going to run the same matte shades from the eyeshadow palette just along my lower lash line. Nothing special, nothing important. We can just move past it. Like I said, I do quite like the eyeshadow palette, so nothing against it so far. So, brow pencil. This one here. This is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil in Ash Brown. I picked this up in Boots, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I don't think Superdrug sells Wet n Wild. Now we have a spoolie on one end and a triangular pencil on the other, so that's fine with me. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's give these brows a little brush, 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 brush. And now let's see how the pencil works. I think, considering the shade is called Ash Brown, it's warmer than I was expecting. I have quite cool toned brow hairs, so I generally tend to go for shades that say ash brown or mid brown or something like that, so that they don't tend to be as warm. That is very warm. The shape of it, not a massive fan of. I think it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I do think it would be good because it does have a point to it that is really good for those sort of like thin brow hairs. But then also it has quite a long flat side for if you want to get like quite a straight line at the top and bottom of your brows, which I personally do. You do have to press quite hard. It's not the most pigmented brow pencil in the world, but that's not always a bad thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think the colour throws me off more than anything, but I also don't think it's a bad product. Wet n Wild is also super inexpensive, so something to think about. Elf, the Wow Brow Tinted Gel in the shade Natural Brown. I don't know why. I think since I cut off most of the blonde in my hair, I've just been going for more brown shades because my hair is, it's not brown, I refuse to accept that it's brown, but it's brown. Ooh, I like the, what's it called? Brush applicator spoolie. It's super thin. I really like that. Ooh, this is super cool toned. Like super cool toned. That is so cool toned. I don't know how this would work for like actually holding your brows in place, but I personally don't care. That's not what I look for in a brow gel, because my brow hairs don't really go that wild. I look for a tint more than anything, and I think that tint, I think it's a touch too dark, if I'm being honest, just ever so slightly. But I think the colour of it is perfect. I like that a lot. I'm going to test a setting spray. I do actually have two to test, but I'm just going to use this one because I'm more excited to test this one. This is the Studio London You Matter Setting Mist Lightweight Matte Fix. It has powder at the bottom, I don't know how I can see that, so I'm going to give it a really good shake, because that powder is what makes your skin matte at the end of it. So yeah, really good shake. Let's check the mister before I spray it on my face. Ooh, that's nice, and it doesn't smell bad. It looks quite strong though, so I'm going to hold it quite far away. I don't like the mister at all. I also don't like that I can't stand it up. That's annoying. What I am going to do while I do my mascara and lips... Oh, I've got tape stuck to my fingers. What am I doing today? I'm going to do the makeup fixing test. So I'm going to take two shades out of here. I'm going to take the darkest shade. Dark brown. That actually looks really nice. Could have used that today. Actually, I'm just going to take one shade. I don't need two. And what I'm going to do is put it on my arm and then spray it with the fixing spray. And while I do the rest of my makeup, I'll leave it to dry and we will see. I don't like the mister. I wish it was slightly finer. I really don't like the packaging. Twice now I've tried to stand it up and it's not going to work. While that dries, we're going to test a mascara. And I have the Zoeva Infinite Potential Mascara Full Volume Mascara Volume. Okay, in the black shade. This came in either a glossy box or the glossy box advent calendar quite a while ago, so I don't even know if Zoeva still make this. Zoeva, I don't know. So I don't know if they actually still make this, because they've seemed to have like rebranded a lot and sort of got rid of a lot of stuff, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Okay, it is an hourglass shaped wand, ever so slightly an hourglass shaped wand. I don't typically get on with hourglass shaped wands, but we'll give it a go. I like the mascara. Volume, nope. Length and separation, separation, length not so much. Is a very basic mascara, and considering how I know that Zoeva can be quite expensive, I don't think this will probably be worth the price if you can still get it. I'm just going in with a second coat, and I actually do think it's giving me quite a lot of definition. I don't think it's giving me much length. It is giving volume actually now that I'm on my second coat. I do think my lashes look quite thick. It looks like I have quite a lot of them, which we all know I love. Typically in a mascara I look for length and separation. This is not giving length, but it is giving separation and it is giving volume, so I quite like that. What I'm going to do now is go and pick out a lipstick to test. When we get back I will test this because it will be dry hopefully, and I'll put on a lipstick. I'll see you in a moment. Right, I've actually just grabbed my box of lipsticks to test. You can see how well my life's going. Ooh, but I do quite like it. Yeah, we're going to test this because I like it, and it's at the top. This is a gloss, so I might actually put this on top as well. I am so sorry that this video is all over the place. First of all, let's test this because this has completely dried. I'm just testing there around it that it's dried. The idea of this test is that when I rub it, if it stays in place, the setting spray is really good for locking in your makeup. If it smudges about, it's just for hydration. Either one is fine. I'm not going to use this finger because it already has pigment on it. I'm going to use this one, which is completely clean. And let's go. Ooh. Okay, it is coming off a little bit. It's definitely on my finger, and I definitely have lost a bit of pigment. However, it's not smudging all over my arm. It's more just coming off on my finger, which doesn't bother me because I don't tend to rub my face on many things throughout the day. Maybe my boyfriend if I want to cuddle. But yeah, that's pretty good going. I'm pretty happy with that, and I am really rubbing, and it's still there. You've still got some pigment. I don't know if they still make this anymore. This is the KVD. It's Kat Von D because I got it in an outlet shop. What is this? Vinyl lip cream in the shade Carnation, and then I have a lip gloss to go on top of it. I just wanted to test this because it's a colour I will actually wear. I like the doe foot. It's like a little mini hourglass tablet type shape. I really like that. My application is horrendous, but I really like that colour. I don't know if I'm in focus anymore, but I really like the colour. Really like that. Doesn't quite match the eyes. It doesn't look terrible, but it's not perfect. I don't know if this is actually going to dry down. I'm hoping it is so that I can then test the lip balm. I'm actually just going to test the lip gloss on top anyway, because why not? I will swatch it just because I don't think you'll be able to see the pigment properly. Oh, it's actually quite pigmented. I'm kind of scared. I want to blot this down first. Ooh, it smells nice. I like that. That looks quite nice. Quite pretty. I think it also matches the eyes a bit better now as well. Okay, that's enough for this video, let's be honest. The lip gloss, I can still feel it tingling. I did not realise it was a plumping gloss. But I actually quite like it. It does say lip plumping gloss in the shade Mauve Lady. So if I just read the thing, I would have known it. But I do really quite like it. It looks really nice. In terms of plumping, I don't think my lips look any more plump than they normally do. But I do really like the shade. It's got like really nice glitters in it as well. Big fan. That is everything. I feel like I've been talking forever. But yeah, very mixed bag. Very mixed bag. I don't think I've ever been in a worse mood in a YouTube video than when I put this monstrosity on my face. That is a no from me. I will try to test it again and see if I can get a better opinion on it. But right now, not a fan. Definitely the worst product of the video. I'm not going to do top 3, bottom 3 because I've just spoken about them all. But there we go. Let me know what you think of the look. Let me know what you think of all the products I tested. Let me know if you think it's the primer or the foundation giving me issues. Let me know if you've tried either of them and your thoughts on them. But anyway, I'm just going to end the video there. I told you I've forgotten how to film videos. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I quite like the look. I would leave the house like this. It wouldn't bother me at all. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's always makeup content. So if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. I've been really good at my intro and outro today and I'm very proud of myself. Where was I? Drop this video a comment, let me know your thoughts, hit subscribe, it's at the button down below, completely free, also completely up to you. I'm just happy you're here watching the video. But anyway, I'll let you go. Hope you have a great day and an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!